Hi.
Nice to have you here.
Thank
Ngozi
you.
will talk about tourism and entertainment in Imo State and the opportunities that are there for all of us in Imo State. Mrs. Ngozi Ngoka is the leading voice in the tourism and entertainment sector in Nigeria. She's the CEO of Zigona Limited and chairman of the board of trustees of the Tourism Consultants Forum of Nigeria and vice president of the Federation of Tourism Association of Nigeria. And she's here to lead us through the opportunities in this sector in Imo State. So Ngozi, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Good day, distinguished Imolites and Nigerians. And I want to give a special shout out to my TCF family. I can see a lot of you are here. Thank you for coming. It is indeed an honor for me to be here. And I'm delighted to see that there are so many Imo citizens outside of government who are also interested in making life better for our people. I want to especially thank the organizers of this event for inviting me to participate as a panelist. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ngozi Ngoka. I'm mostly known, especially here in Owerri, as Nwanyi Chade Ngoka, and in the tourism community as Lolo of tourism. Professionally, I'm a travel and tourism consultant, and I have owned my business and worked in the industry for 21 years. I'm currently the founder and director of the Touristry Consultants Forum, and also the vice president of Federation of Tourism Association of Nigeria, with oversight function for the 5 states of the Southeast. I'm here today at the instance of the Imo Economic Development Initiative to speak on how to leverage on tourism, the tourism industry for Imo State's post-COVID-19 recovery and growth. And I want to commend the organizers for recognizing the fact that tourism is the engine room and the key industry for Imo State's recovery. I know some of you will be wondering, what is she talking about? And so I want to show you with this first slide. Right now, we are looking at the whole tourism value chain that we have identified in Imo State. And I have zeroed in on the riverine communities of the riverine community of Fuguta. I also looked at the Monkey Colony area at Lawa and the Rolling Stone Hills at Okiwe and the urban city of Owerri, just for sampling. And I believe these samples cover the 3 senatorial districts of Imo State. Now, in these 3 communities, we identified more than 50 distinct economic activities, government agencies and support institutions at some stage of transition which have to do with tourism industry. These activities, because of the sheer size and number of employment opportunities they provide, form the economic base of Imo State and provide about 48% of the state's workforce. Now, I want to break down this slide to This is the breakdown of the Sorry, I seem to be having a problem with my screen.
That's fine. Just take your time.
Okay. Okay, so this is a breakdown of the whole tourism value chain made up of tourism industries, goods and services, policies and planning, public-private partnerships,
There's nothing wrong.
and infrastructure.
I handed over to her. She said either or go.
Emeka, kindly mute your microphone, please, Emeka. Thank you.
I've unmuted him. Yeah. It's still on. Okay, so this is the breakdown of the whole tourism chain, made up of tourism industries, goods and services that supply the tourism industry, institutions that plan and make policies, or in some cases are supposed to make policies, but that they don't. We have public-private partnerships that drive the tourism industry. And finally, we have the infrastructure support and government agencies whose business it is to provide infrastructure to the core tourism businesses. Now, these are some of the industries that we identified. Okay. So these are some of the tourism businesses we have in those three areas. Let's just say Imo State. And while we are here, let me quickly remind us how important these activities are to the economy of the state. So this is how everything comes together. In the whole of Imo State, we have 430 hotels, which have the combined capacity for about 15,000 hotel rooms. This was before COVID-19, because I spoke with some of these hotel owners and some of them are frankly closed up. So I'm working at the statistics I had before COVID-19 pandemic. So say we have a weekend of activities, perhaps 3 festivals in different senatorial districts of Imo, and with good marketing strategies, the star power appearances of our Nollywood actors, many of whom are citizens of Imo, footballers, comedians, musicians and artists, many of whom are from here. And then we target 15,000 attendees. Well, and we eventually get about 12,000 who stay in 10,000 hotel rooms. Now, each of these 10,000 people, each person pays 10,000 naira per night for a room. Let's just say it's 10,000 naira. And then they spend 2,000 naira per person on food and 500 naira on transportation. Already, with just this weekend activities, we've injected 25 million naira into the state economy for just one night. I have not even included shopping, tours, fitness and wellness and other activities the tourists may spend money on. But for that weekend alone, a minimum of 75 million naira is injected into the state's economy through tourism activities. So these green activities that you're looking at will also benefit from tourism activities. These are businesses that provide goods and services which supply the tourism industry. They include press and media, ICTs, marketing and sales, people that ride bicycle, operate boats at Uguta, food factories, manufacturers, cottage industries. There are just so many. Petrol stations, these are businesses that have the trickle-down effect from tourism. And at my last count, I identified about 70 types of tourism and its allied businesses. Unfortunately, these businesses are currently either out of business or operating at very, very, very much below capacity. The tourism industry has been the worst hit so far because the industry is primarily involved in the provision of accommodation, entertainment, food, and other services that have been shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic, or, some of them are operating at less than their capacity. But there's a silver lining. We're very resilient people, and things are going to get better. As government gradually begins to open and we start getting comfortable, our natural craving for travel and leisure will set in. Nothing can ever take the place of a human connection. So even if people don't want to travel, they will still sometimes travel for business and they will travel for leisure. In the immediate future, and going by the data of what happened at after 9/11 terrorist attack and the SARS pandemic, things may not get back to normal until after about 5 years. So we're looking at post-COVID-19 tourism for the next 5 years, and then we'll talk about what will happen after the 5 years. So in the immediate future, when they get the travel bug, they have to travel within Nigeria. Because for so many reasons, you know that many countries have not opened up, and even when they open, there are so many stringent reasons why, you know, travelers are not allowed in, or they are not comfortable going to so many countries. Now, according to IATA, in 2018, the total BSP sales by foreign airlines was about 3 billion naira. Last year, there was a slight increase of 3.7 billion. We do not currently have the statistics from private jets or how much was spent on accommodation and other tourism activities in the countries that, you know, Nigerians visited. But now that so many people will be unable to meet the criteria to travel to other countries, at least for some time, it's only reasonable to expect that some of that money will be spent in Nigeria. This is why we have to capture the Nigerian market immediately as a post-COVID-19 remedy for tourism. But at the same time, I can assure you that my colleagues in other countries are working very hard with their governments to ensure that they do not lose patronage from Nigeria, because Nigerians are big spenders and they love to travel. So most of my colleagues from different parts of the world, they are always looking for Nigerian travelers. So despite the difficulties we currently envisage, I think realistically our first competitors for the Nigerian tourists will still be foreign countries. And then in Nigeria, we look at, we have to compete with states like Cross River, Ekiti, Lagos, Ondo, Plateau states, and the Federal Capital Territory. These states have already positioned themselves for both home and international tourism. Now,
so we have about 3 more minutes left, Ngozi. Thank you.
Now, this chart we are looking at have to do with the ministries that will have to up their game. And they should understand their role is to help tourism businesses thrive. They are not just there to register tourism businesses for tax collection. Ideally, these ministries and departments should run as business enterprises that spend money to make money. They should employ all the principles that successful businesses use and treat tourism businesses as their customers. The ministries should prioritize the provision of infrastructure, such as power. These ministries, should prioritize the provision of infrastructure such as power, waste management systems, security, and public health services to communities where they can generate income from tourism, then use the proceeds to develop other communities. My goddaughter and my son, my goddaughter Amaka and my son will not forgive me if I don't talk about standardization of our state tourism products. Nigerians are very, very sophisticated travelers, and they usually ask detailed questions about destinations. So if, and they want to know what to expect, they tend to return and bring people along with them. Standardization will also play a large role in marketing our products to our people in the diaspora, who constantly tell me they want to bring tourists home and experience Southeast Nigeria. Professor Iwu, in his opening remarks, talked about investors. Investors will not come, tourism investors will not come if there are no standards and clear regulations. And I also agree with Chief Leostan Eke that we have to invest in education. While we're investing in education, let us talk about tourism education. We have to train the people that work in the tourism industry because it's a very, very productive sector. It is now time to support the tourism industry for our state's economic recovery and growth. This is where the support institutions that you're looking at now, you know, they are very vital for this.
Okay, so we should be rounding up now because of time.
Government should work with organized private sector and set up an impact assessment team to properly monitor the damage done to the tourism industry. Some organized private sectors like the TCF have already done this assessment, and we've identified measures such as tax holidays for business owners, tourism business owners, interest-free loans for tourism poor businesses. Tourism is a serious business in Imo, and it is the state's largest employer of labor. And I think because of time, I want to stop. I don't know why I have been given less time than the other people, but I'll take questions later, and we can touch on the other things that I wanted to talk about. Thank you.
Right, Lolo, I will apologize about the time because they're prompting me to make everybody speak a bit faster. That's why. And the time set for the whole meeting is almost gone. So we've had to really keep to time. My sincere apologies if that seemed intrusive. All right.